Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
I'm Justin.
And this week we're talking about the episode Lie to Me.
Will everything be okay?
Of course.
Thank you. Alright.
This episode originally aired November 3rd, 1997, with an original viewership of 5 million people. In this episode, we start off in a graveyard late at night. Drusilla approaches a young boy waiting for his mother. She tells him about a song her mother used to sing to her when she was young, before wondering, what will your mother sing when she finds you?
You know, the wonderful stranger danger moment.
Until Angel intervenes and Buffy sees Angel and Drusilla together. Then later, in a school hallway, a young man sneaks up behind Buffy and surprises her. Buffy introduces him to Willow and Xander as her friend Ford, with whom she attended school in LA. He explains that he is finishing his senior year in Sunnydale High School after his father was transferred there for work.
Is that just the place to go after,
Well, the housing cost must be super low.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because, half the town ends up dead.
Yeah, true.
So,
Another person dies and another person moves in.
You sometimes have to question how big that cemetery really is from all the shots we typically get.
well, we haven't had it explained yet, but technically there are multiple cemeteries.
So, that's why sometimes they randomly hang out at a cemetery, because there's just multiple of them, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At the Bronze, Ford entertains Willow and Xander with embarrassing stories about Buffy. Buffy introduces Angel to Ford, whom Angel obviously doesn't trust. In the alley behind the Bronze, Buffy stakes the vampire and Ford reveals that he knows she is the Slayer. Angel turns up at Willow's bedroom to ask her help tracking down Ford on the internet. Willow quickly finds out that Ford is not actually registered at Sunnydale High. The next night, Buffy and Ford see two vampires running onto campus. Out of sight of Buffy, Ford holds a stake to the vampire's heart and threatens to kill it unless it does what he wants. When Buffy finds Ford again, he claims to have killed the vampire. Meanwhile, Xander, Willow, and Angel visit the Sunset Club, the only address Willow has found for Ford. The patrons romanticize and sympathize with the vampires, whom they refer to as the Lonely Ones, and Angel cannot help but scoff at them. Buffy goes back to the library and meets Giles and Miss Calendar. She sees a picture of Drusilla among Giles' research. Giles explains that she was Spike's lover, supposedly killed by an angry mob in Prague. But Buffy tells him that she is still alive and that she saw her with Angel. Soon a vampire storms out of Giles' study with a book. Buffy recognizes it as the vampire Ford said he killed. Ford approaches Spike and asks to be made a vampire. The idea does not interest Spike until Ford explains that he can give them the Slayer in return. Later that night, Angel comes to Buffy's house to tell her about Ford's club. Buffy goes to the Sunset Club where Ford explains that he was counting on Buffy figuring out his plan. Buffy pleads with him to let the other club members go. Ford interrupts to tell her that he has brain cancer and will be dead within 6 months. Becoming a vampire is the only way he can avoid death. He then admits to her that the other people will not be changed. Within minutes of sunset, the vampires arrive and immediately begin feeding. Ford attacks Buffy. She knocks him out. Buffy overpowers Drusilla and threatens to stake her. Spike immediately orders the vampires to stop feeding. Buffy demands that they let everyone go, which Spike agrees to. The form of vampire worshippers flee, and Buffy follows. Ford is still unconscious on the floor as Buffy closes the door, locking all the vampires inside with him.
Where's the doorknob?
Spike awakens, and since he held up his end of the bargain by luring the Slayer, demands that Spike hold up his end of the bargain and sire him. Shrugging off the latest defeat, Spike does so. A few nights later, Buffy and Giles are waiting over Ford's grave. Ford's vampire self emerges, and Buffy stakes her former friend. That was Lie to Me.
Well, and then there was the end where Buffy tells Giles to lie to her about everything about life, and everyone will live happily ever after.
Yes.
You liar.
Well,
I'm sure Buffy's story ends happily.
Yeah? No.
You did it the first time.
Or the second, or the third. Anyway.
Yeah.
What did you think of this episode?
Oh man, this episode got heavy. But on the good end of things.
Okay, Justin?
Well, basically, it makes you question who do you trust in this sort of scenario, especially if someone does know if you're the Slayer or whatever.
Well, I mean, he had reason to kind of know Because he was there when Buffy became the Slayer
I
and
guess
burned
so,
down
yeah.
the school gym.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he has kind of reasons to,
I suppose.
Then, was it his idea to go to Sunnydale and actually attend the same school as Buffy as well?
Well, I mean...
Or was that just a coincidence?
His cover is that, well, no, my dad got a job here and we moved. We don't know if that's true or not because we don't know anything more about Ford.
Nah.
Right.
Mostly, I think the big thing is he went through all this just to find some out for all the medical stuff that he would run into in 6 months. So, how he specifically got to that point, I'm not particularly sure, but yeah, vampire is a decent enough thing to sort of land on if you want to go for immortal and not die.
Okay, so when Buffy meets up with Ford in the the hallway, she has this line that they're like sitting on these couches, and Willow's like, "Oh, so you two were sweeties in 5th grade?" And Buffy replies, "Not even Ford wouldn't give me the time of day. Well, I was a manly 6th grader. I couldn't bother with someone that young.
Yeah.
It was terrible. I moped over him for months, sitting in my room listening to the Divinal song, I Touch Myself."
Oh, that.
Of course, I
Yeah.
had no idea what it was about. And then, 3 minutes later, Willow's like, "Oh, that's what that song was about."
Oh, poor innocent Willow.
Oh boy.
I also love when they're at the Bronze and, Ford sees
Ford.
Angel, and he's like, he looks older, and Xander's like, "Well, you're not wrong." Technically correct, yet again.
Well, Xander is kind of in his... Buffy is paying attention to every other guy in the room aside from V, so he's on his jealous sort of phase, being wonderful and snarky about most things.
Yes. And then I believe it's Xander who delivers the line, "Once more with tension." I wonder if that phrase will ever come up maybe in an episode title or something similar. Ford tells Buffy that he knows she's the Slayer, and Angel goes to visit Willow in her bedroom.
Yeah.
Right, yes.
Willow has to invite Angel in,
Yes.
and I wonder if that'll ever come back later this season.
Well, now that Angel's invited in, he can just come and go.
Yep, he sure could. I love how Angel's sitting on her bed, and he's like, before Buffy, I didn't have to worry about all of this. I could just mope and really hone on my brooding skills.
Yeah.
He has some great lines in this episode.
Yeah.
So we interrupt Giles and Jenny Calendar's date,
Yeah.
where they go back to the school, and apparently she took him to see monster trucks.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a decent enough date.
I just love Buffy's reaction. "You took him to monster trucks?"
This kind of mindless thing isn't the thing Giles likes.
And then, right after that, this vampire runs by, and Giles is like, "It took one of my books!"
I honestly was like, wow, I'm surprised he's so calm.
And then immediately, Jenny Calendar's like, "Well, at least someone in the school is reading." It's so good. I love Spike when he gets annoyed with Ford, and he's just like, "Can I eat him now?"
When you're first introduced to him, I kind of questioned why the heck he was with these other groups of people that kind of fill in the category of vamp sort of people really well. I question, why is it that Ford is like this? And then he starts geeking out when he meets up with Spike, and I'm like, oh, that's why. Please stop now before I get a blunt object.
I love Spike. He's like, "I've known you for 2 minutes, and I don't see myself wanting to spend eternity with you."
I agree. Kill him now.
Yeah. Why would he think that he would make him a vampire?
Well, he does make a pretty good offer to Spike.
Yeah, he
No,
does. But
very true.
I don't think Spike really liked him too much, and especially since, he did try, but failed at his attempt.
Well, that's not Ford's fault.
No.
Not kind of the Slayer, and more so with Drusilla kind of getting caught up in things.
Well, and it's also just
Yeah.
Spike's henchmen being stupid.
Yeah, leaving Drusilla open, basically.
Well, and yeah, because Drusilla's in a weakened state after Prague. We get a line from Buffy when she's talking to Angel, I love you, I don't know if I trust you. Which I thought was really cool. And then Angel gives us the origin of Drusilla.
Yeah.
And we find out what Angelus was like a little bit. So, do you remember what the origin story for Drusilla was, Justin?
Not quite.
Okay, so here's what happened. So, Angel decided that, well, basically, how I understand it is he saw Drusilla and he's like, I'm going to torture her. So, what he did was he went and murdered her entire family and all of her friends. And then when she retreated to a convent, he waited a while until she took her, what do you call it when you become a nun? And then he turned her to a vampire on the day she became a nun.
Oh, you also skipped the part where he basically tortured her and driven her insane.
Yeah, well, that was part of the killing her family and everything.
Yeah, but still, all the additional stuff.
That's a nice thing to do.
I love when Willow is in one of the hallways with Xander, and she's like, yeah, when Angel came to my room last night, and Xander's like, he was in your room, which is like, yes, ours is a forbidden love.
Yes.
Xander is amazing sometimes.
That's so true.
I love Buffy losing her mind on the one, really dorky looking dude and the stupid, wannabe Dracula shit.
Oh, yeah.
It was like,
What
and
even
my
is
god,
this?
could you have a dorkier outfit?
What even is this costume?
It's great. We find out that Ford has brain cancer, and that's his justification for wanting to become a vampire.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So what did you think of that? Does it kind of redeem Ford, or is he still kind of a bastard?
He's a bastard.
He's a bastard?
Yeah, I can definitely understand the point of view he comes from, but yeah, there are better options.
He's not one to basically cope with himself dying in 6 months, really.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, he's meant to be 17.
Yeah.
Or 18.
No.
He's still young, but I mean...
You throw that at
You
a person
can't
that
just,
age, and yeah.
Either way, it doesn't justify trying to kill a bunch of people, or,
Again, I don't think he really focused on much anything aside from himself of,
Yeah,
I don't exactly want to die or go through all this shit. Hey, let's become a vampire. How do I do that?
Yeah, I wouldn't really say his actions were justified. Basically, he was only doing it for himself.
So Buffy manages to escape the underground Sunset Club by holding Drew at stake point.
Yeah.
And then just kind of tossing her on Spike as she runs out.
Well, that's done. You could go.
And at the end of the episode, as Justin alluded to earlier, there's a great exchange between Buffy and Giles, which is, does it ever get easy? You mean life? Yeah, does it get easy? What do you want me to say? Lie to me. Yes, it's terribly simple. The good guys are always stalwart and true. The bad guys are easily distinguished by their pointy horns or black hats. And we always defeat them and save the day. No one ever dies, and everyone lives happily ever after. Liar.
Basically, an entire synopsis of how this series is probably going to go.
There'll be happy endings. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just not everything is sunshine and rainbows.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Oh, God.
The ending of this episode was a little bittersweet with, how it decided to end it.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure, the name of the town is Sunnydale, but it is around the Hellmouth, so...
Alrighty, so overall, what did you guys think of this episode?
Again, like I said at the start, man, this episode was heavy, but with all the points it hit, and with how everything was addressed, man, it was good. It turned out really good.
Yeah, I would have to agree. It was a good episode with, it had more Spike. So that made me happy.
Yes, more Spike is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yep, William the Bloody. We'll get more information on him soon.
Oh, yay.
I don't know who that is.
Spike.
Oh.
That's his...
Is his name?
His His name before he became a vampire was William something, and he was referred to as William the Bloody. He's also referred to that as a vampire at a certain point, but you'll find out how he got the nickname William the Bloody as a human, and it's pretty funny.
Huh, okay.
Because, well, Spike, before he turned into a vampire, was a poet.
Alrighty then.
That's a minor spoiler for some stuff coming up.
I'll take that. I don't know how I will take that, but I'll just take it for as it is. I don't know what to make of it, though.
I wouldn't expect you to.
Alrighty.
So, what do you have for, like, a score for this episode?
Oh man, this is sitting at like high ranges. Like, I'll probably stick it up with 9 with everything that I covered.
Okay.
About an 8.5.
8.5, okay. Cool. Alrighty, so I've noticed that this episode, of course, is directed and written by Joss Whedon.
Gasp.
And you all seem to really like Joss Whedon episodes.
Yeah.
This seems to be the ones that routinely rank very high, so that'll be interesting to see if that continues.
It's not like, there's a few forgettable episodes, but I mean, it's not like the hyena episode or...
Well, no, and that also wasn't written by Joss.
Exactly.
Nah. And again, he's human, so he'll probably have an off day or two.
No, his episodes are pretty continuously strong. Like, he was involved with writing Halloween. He wrote this one.
And he didn't do Reptile Boy.
No. And he's going to write I believe the 2-parter that's coming up next.
Ooh.
Or very soon, at least.
No.
And he's going to write the best 2-parter in the series this season as well.
Oh,
in my opinion. Which is Innocence and... what's the second part? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, some more information about this episode. Kinda. So the guy who played Ford is named Jason Behr. Interestingly enough, he would reunite with Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays Buffy, a few years later in the American remake of The Grudge.
Okay.
Just a little footnote I wanted to throw in.
It's like, oh, I remember you from that TV show that we did.
Also, the episodes included they did these special DVDs for like each character. Like they did a Buffy DVD and a Angel DVD and like different episodes for each character. This one was included on the Spike one.
I could somewhat understand that.
Yes. So for music in the episode, okay. So one of these bands, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce right. So we get a song by Willowby. Willoughby. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Willoughby, I don't know.
Which is Louie on the Brink. We then get a song also by the Sisters of Mercy, which is Neverland. Louie on the Bank plays as Xander, and Willow play pool with Ford at the Bronze. Neverland plays during Ford's first visit to the Sunset Club. And the best band name we've had so far, Creaming Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Has a song called Reptile, which plays as Willow, Xander, and Angel go to the Sunset Club to spy on Ford. For international titles, there's nothing terribly interesting about this one, except for the German one, which translates back to English as Death Wish. All the rest are just either like liar, lie, or lie to me.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Though it does possibly run the risk of supposedly spoiling things, but it's subtle enough that you could supposedly be like, oh, they're talking about all this particular stuff, so why is it... Oh, okay.
We also get Cordelia referencing Marie Antoinette.
Yes.
She was going to let them have cake.
Very true. It's what she's best known for.
I just love how clueless Cordelia is sometimes. Anyway, did either of you have anything left to add?
I think they hit the portrayal of most of the people within the club decently enough. Especially the comment the girl was talking with Willow, Xander, and Angel about the lonely ones and all the strife and whatnot. And Angel, like, you're just idiots. Why the hell are you doing this?
I love how Angel just has no patience for their bullshit. He's just like, you're an idiot.
Additionally, Angel kind of going off, it's like, all these people just wanting to be vampires, falling into the fantasy of it, and thinking of what they do, what they drink, how they dress. Then that one guy comes up dressed up in the exact same thing Angel's dressed up in.
I just want to assume they're just playing Dungeons and Dragons or something.
The one guy did look like he was going to be DMing a hardcore session. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why they're wearing such dorky outfits.
Like, if that dude had a box of, like, D20s and a Dungeon Master guide with him, he'd fit right in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Honestly, I think he would probably not exactly fit in, because sadly, despite my knowledge, I know that there are different classes of vamp people, and the one side is just kind of wearing black and being edgy in that sort of case. But then there's the other side that needs to stick to the traditional costuming of the time that we suppose there is.
Well, they found whatever was in their,
Look, a whole bunch of them went to Hot Topic and just raided the fucking...
Yeah.
I don't know. Either that or their grandmother's wardrobe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I think that's going to be it. Unless, Justin, you have something left to add?
No, not really.
Alrighty, that's going to be it for this week. I'm Paul.
I'm Dave.
And I'm Justin.